This video is all about the soft potato ingredient in Pokemon Sleep, and we will cover every single ingredient specialist that can find the soft potato, as well as the skill specialist and the berry specialist that can find it, and just make a comprehensive video here, and then at the end decide on which single Pokemon, or a couple maybe, that are the best for farming potatoes. So the honorable mention here is a weird one. So what's interesting with the Golem as a Pokemon that is ingredients focused is it does get the beans and it does get the potatoes. Potatoes overall is a rare ingredient, which means it can never be found in the first slot here on any Pokemon. So it's only at level 30 that it is possible to find. The other thing to consider here is the Tyranitar, which has triple ginger, but also has the beans. The overall strategy that I would recommend is to specialize and find mono ingredient specialists, which means for the most part you probably want to preserve the Golem here as a beans specialist, and then the Tyranitar as a ginger specialist, having the mono ginger and the mono beans. Now, having said that, it's perfectly fine to go like ginger and double beans and then Tyranitar, but it depends on your collection and what you're looking for. So for the most part, the Golem is probably not going to be beans, double potato. It just depends on your collection. So another Pokemon that is quite interesting and that I do see people use a lot is the Victorybell for potatoes. What's super interesting about the Victorybell is it's more or less identical to Mr. Mime. They have the exact same speed, the exact same ingredient list, and the Victorybell has a slightly higher ingredient rate, as well as, in my opinion, a better main skill. I personally prefer the Charge Energy S because if you evolve it then from Bellsprout, this is going to be at 150% all day, every day if you do run a healer. So even on the days that your healer will be slacking a little bit, then the Victorybell is going to be just working its way. Tomato overall is a very common ingredient. You can find it on a lot of just level 1 slots, and there are just a lot of Pokemon that also has the triple ingredient tomato combo. So for the most part, you probably want to go for the Victorybell when it comes to the potatoes. But overall, there are so many options for the potatoes that it's kind of interesting to an extent to wait a little bit on going all in on your like long-term potato Pokemon, just because it's very flexible. Like if you find that really good Tyranitar that doesn't have the ginger, where it does have the beans, and then you can do the Golem with the potatoes, even though Golem is better as a mono bean Pokemon. You know what I'm saying? So it's just overall not very easy to point out a definitive winner for the potato farming. And so we do have the Victorybell, which is an ingredient specialist. We have the Golem, ingredient specialist, and then we have two more actually that are ingredient specialists. I would say potentially, if you don't go for the Victorybell, maybe the Kangaskhan. The Kangaskhan is just super rare. It's hard to befriend. It's overall not even better. Like, you do have the ingredient magnet, but it doesn't evolve. So overall, I would say Charge Energy S is the better main skill. And so you can see then that the speed is the same. Victorybell is better at the ingredient rate. And if you then go for the first ingredient, double potato, it's the same drop. So maybe you want to preserve the Kangaskhan as your mono ginger if you ever really go for the Kangaskhan. Overall, I'm not too fan of the Kangaskhan. Probably C tier, if not D tier in my book, just as a combo of the rarity It doesn't do anything really unique. Potentially, maybe you can find some sort of ingredient combo here that can be useful for some of the dish weeks. But for the most part, I would say looking for potatoes, maybe not Kangaskhan. But then again, it's quite flexible. It depends on your collection with this one. And there are really no obvious answers for the potato, but it's good to have a discussion overall. Another Pokemon is Venusaur. My Venusaur is a mixed set, so I got honey, tomato, and potatoes. For the Venusaur, you probably want the triple honey. Honestly, I have a perfect sub-skill Venusaur, and I'm just super unhappy with it because it doesn't have the honey. So that is all the ingredient specialists that do get the potato. And then we have a single skill specialist, and I wrote skill, that's funny, which is Lucario. It does get the double potato at 30 and 60, but obviously you can compare the overall drop rate here is a lot higher on the Victorybell, as well as the ingredient rate. Overall, Victorybell finds a lot more ingredients when it's producing something, and every time it does pop, there will be a lot more potatoes. So you're probably not going to look to Lucario for potatoes. And then we have the Steelix, which is a berry specialist. It does have 3 potatoes. That's the final spot here. Maybe the preferential ingredient list here is the triple tomato, but for the most part, what you're looking for in a Steelix as a berry specialist is berry finding. And the ingredient magnet S is pretty decent at 3% proc, so that is also good as well. But overall, if we just sum it up here on the soft potato, it is not looking too hot for other Pokemon than the Victorybell. I would personally look for a Golem potentially, since I do already have a pretty decent Tyranitar that is producing a lot of beans. But then again, the mono ingredient is so strong that I think overall you probably are doing yourself a favor by going Victorybell. Victorybell also has favored berry at Lapis Lakeside. Potato is a rare ingredient and is in quite a few dishes, so paired up with a tomato here, that could potentially be a good idea. I'll go in depth on the various cooking strategies in later videos. For now, it's just going all in on the ingredients and the Pokemon and the skills and all that stuff. So I have covered the best sub-skills and the best natures for ingredient specialists, but we can do one quick here. You want the ingredient finding M for sure. And for Victorybell, it's decently fast, so it's not like a big problem if you don't find a helping speed. I would say you probably would rather have the ingredient finding M here, and then potentially something like the mild nature. One thing to point out here is the mild nature will increase the percentage of the ingredient rate, but the energy recovery down has a detrimental effect here on the charge energy S. Overall, the mild nature is really strong on Victorybell, but something like the, let's see here, maybe the modest, but not really. You don't want the speed down. But then again, the main skill chance is down. This is an interesting one for sure. I don't have the complete table here. Is it relaxed? Nope. Maybe quiet. How about quiet? I think overall that would probably be the best nature on the Victorybell, just because it increases the ingredient finding and it doesn't impact the slight, like super small skill trigger rate here of 4%, which is actually kind of big. And the energy recovery down will lessen the effect here of the energy recovered. So I think overall the Victorybell is not too difficult to get a hold of. You mostly just want at least a good nature and the ingredient finding M, I have already covered leeks as an ingredient in another ingredient deep dive, and so I wouldn't really recommend Victorybell as the leek farmer. There's a Dugtrio for that. So, hope you found this video interesting. Let me know in the comments if you have any feedback, any thoughts, any comments, and I'll make sure to get back to you. Thank you so much for watching.